Welcome into McKeon Park on a rainy Monday night here, August the 1st. We are finally into the third month of the summer, and a huge game for both ball clubs as the Harwich Mariners take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks for the final time this season. Hi, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast booth. My name is Devin Dobeck. I'm joined alongside Tim Foley as we're huddled under one umbrella here. Some unexpected rain. This is the first time we've kind of been put into a weather predicament, but a high-leverage game for both sides. The Mariners need to win one of their next two to find their way into the 2022 postseason here in the Cape Cod Baseball League. The Harbor Hawks sit atop the West with 50 points and are trying to extend their lead to lock up the number one seed. Tim, a huge game here, and the Mariners had a great offensive night last night, 12 runs. What do they need to do to follow it up here and find their way into the dance?
Well, you need to be able to take down a Hyannis team that is one of the best in the West right now, that's fighting for a lot, the right to be able to host the Cape Cod playoffs every single round, all three rounds, if they're able to clinch that top seed. And, I mean, what an atmosphere we have here today. The rain, really just a perfect backdrop. It feels like Prince performing at the halftime show at Super Bowl, I believe it was 41 back in 2007. It's just completely dramatic here at McKeon Park. You love to see it, as it should be an exciting afternoon of baseball.
Going for the Harwich Mariners is going to be Carlson Reed, who hasn't pitched in over a week. A huge game for him, the biggest of the season for Harwich. He's opposed by Jay Driver out of Harvard. Jay, also a Wellesley, Massachusetts native from the same hometown as the Seidels. And, of course, went to Harvard, which is where Tommy went his first 4 years of school. But leading things off here, it'll be Ethan O'Donnell, the Virginia Cavalier transfer. Ethan coming off a 3-hit game last night, went 3 for 5. He becomes the 7th Mariner with a 3-hit game this season. Tim, he's been sensational.
Really has been excellent. He's one in a slew of Mariners who in this second half of the season, really I would say this final third of the season, have stepped up and have been a huge contributor to this offense. Just the way that he's been able to bring a bat to this Mariners lineup. Stepped in the leadoff spot when Nick Goodwin took a few days off back earlier about a week ago, and he's really excelled.
As Driver misses that time, it's 1-1. He's thrown 18 in a third this season, allowed 18 hits, 11 runs, 7 of those earned, 31 strikeouts to 7 walks. As it's 1-2 to O'Donnell. Nick Goodwin on deck, followed by Brock Wilkin. And the 1-2 pitch is in there for strike three. Driver checks in with a strikeout to start off the top of the first.
I mean, that's the kind of tone you want to set if you're Hyannis, being able to immediately sit down the leadoff man in a Mariners lineup that's been potent as of late. And so, again, this is not going to be a Hyannis team that's going to go down lightly. They're going to be excellent competitors here tonight against the Mariners.
Well, let's meet the starting lineup for Steve Englert's Harwich Mariners. Leading off, as we just saw, Ethan O'Donnell batting second. The second baseman, Nick Goodwin. Brock Wilkin hits third at third base. The cleanup hitter is Joe Vetrano, and he's the designated hitter. Hunter Stokely bats fifth at first base. In right field, Tommy Seidel bats sixth. Will Hammonders in left batting seventh. Brian Arndt, the catcher, batting eighth. And Kalai Harrison, the shortstop, hits ninth. It's an 0-1 count now to Goodwin. As quickly 0-2, Jay Driver is ahead. Goodwin also a 3-hit game in the win last night. His average is up to 274 on the season. And the 0-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. It's 3 pitches to retire Goodwin. Back-to-back strikeouts for Driver, and there's 2 gone.
Yeah, he's got his stuff going so far here. Great sign for Hyannis that they're able to, so far, work down 2 of the more potent batters in this Mariners lineup. Of course, you have yet another dangerous bat up now.
Brock Wilkin reached base 4 times yesterday. Had a base hit, also walked 3 times. He's just the 3rd Mariner this season to have 3 walks in a ball game. 2-way for him here. And a new nickname he was written on the lineup card. His strike one is in there. T-Mobile, which, Tim, you deducted to be in attribution to the Home Run Derby, which, of course, is sponsored by T-Mobile. And Brock competed in the home run contest for the Mariners this season in the All-Star break. It's going to be a 1-1 count.
I had to break out my best Sherlock Holmes to be able to deduct that one, but Coach Engler, he's always creative with the nickname, so not surprised to see him. Actually, maybe a little surprised to see him change it up at the end of the year for a guy who's already got one. But
as Wilkin lifts this one out to deep left field, going back is Shanuel looking up, and it is gone! Brock Wilkin launches his 5th bracket of the season. It's to start things off here for the Mariners in the top half of the first. They strike first in a huge game, and it's 1-0.
And I saw Dom Patelli, the shortstop for Hyannis, hold his head as that thing left the yard. I think it was because he thought perhaps, and I think so too, Nolan Shanuel maybe could have had a play at that ball if he was positioned a few feet more to the right. It didn't look like it got over the fence by much, and Shanuel, he got up there. If he was more on line with the ball, perhaps could have had a better read at it. Nonetheless, Brock Wilkin introduces himself to Hyannis and gets Harwich off and running.
Let's meet the rest of the Harbor Hawks defense as Vetrano's up in the count 1-0. They are tied for 5th in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 41 errors and a .972 fielding percentage. In the outfield, Nolan Shanuel's in left, Cole McConnell's in center with Michael Sirota in right. In the infield, Mitch Jebbs at third, Dom Patelli's at short with Drew Earhart at second, and Pancho Ruiz at first with George Corona doing the catching for Jay Driver. 1-1 pitch to Vetrano is going to be slapped off to the left, and he'll be behind in the count now 1-2. Hunter Stokely on deck. Mariners already have gotten on the board here, thanks to a solo shot from Brock Wilkin. 1-2 to Vetrano, misses up and away. Vetrano hitting .235 coming into tonight. 4 home runs and 27 runs batted in. That leads the Cape Cod Baseball League. And the pitch is jammed, but foul. And so he'll live to see another pitch. Vetrano coming off a game in which he had a pair of RBIs, also walked, had a single sacrifice fly. Pretty solid night for him.
Yeah, Vetrano's someone who I think took some time to wake up, but he's been one of the more consistent bats ever since he's arrived.
As that lands on the outside corner, and Jay Driver strikes out the side, but not before Brock Wilkin sends one into orbit over the left field fence and gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead. We head to the home half of the first, 1-0 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Mariners on top 1-0 as Carlson Reed takes the mound. But before we get into him, let's meet the Hyannis Harbor Hawks starting nine for Coach Eric Beatty. Leading off the third baseman, Mitch Jebb. Batting second, the right fielder, Michael Sirota. Batting third, the left fielder, Nolan Shanuel. Batting cleanup, the center fielder, Cole McConnell. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Pancho Ruiz. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Jackson Ross. Batting seventh, the second baseman, Drew Earhart. Batting eighth, the catcher, George Corona. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Dominic Patelli. Mitch Jebb, talk about a turnaround. He now leads the Cape Cod Baseball League in runs scored. Since being cut by the Cotuit Kettleers, he's really found a home here. 39 times he's crossed the plate. Also leads the league in triples with 3. Stolen bases, him and his teammate Riku Nishida tied with 24 at the top of the league. He's also been caught the most, though, 8 times. As Reed misses to start things here, a guy who we know has had control problems all season long, Tim. Not sure what we're going to get from Reed, but what's your prediction here?
I mean, you just want to see him find the strike zone first and foremost, as that's fouled off. It's a 1-1 count now here because, yeah, he leads the league in walks right now. It's been a struggle for him to be able to give his defense opportunities and to just be able to record outs on his own. So you want to see him find the strike zone consistently across at-bats.
Reed does indeed lead the Cape Cod Baseball League in walks with 21. Also earned runs and runs allowed, both 23 respectively. His line coming in, he's 1-3. Actually picked up the first win for the Mariners as a starting pitcher. A 9.85 ERA. This will be his 7th appearance, 6th start. 21 complete innings for him, 27 strikeouts, 21 walks, and he's allowed 22 hits. He's behind the count 3-1 to the dangerous Mitch Jebb. As that one misses outside, and it's 5-pitch walk here to start things in the home half of the first.
Yeah, unideal, obviously, to give up that leadoff walk there. Immediately you're putting more pressure on yourself. See how Reed decides to settle back in here.
He has not pitched since July the 17th at Chatham. Maybe Falmouth, excuse me. July 19th. I think my lines were off. July 19th at Chatham, so it has been, or at Falmouth, excuse me. So it has been a while since we've seen Carlson Reed. He's already behind 1-0 to Michael Sirota, the right fielder. He was credited with the loss in that game, went 2 complete innings through 60 pitches, allowed 5 hits, 6 earned runs, struck out 4 to 5 walks. It was not an ideal outing for him. Kind of all over the place. 1 ball, no strikes. And here's the pitch to Sirota. That is dropped in there for strike 1. Sirota on the season hitting .351. It's been a great go for him. That's across 57 at-bats. Also has knocked in 14 men, walked 5 times. Jebb dancing off first as Reed comes home and finds its way on the inside corner to make it a 1-2 count.
Here you go here, get ahead in the count like this against Sirota. He'll find a way to take care of business.
Sirota from Broad Channel, New York, Northeastern Husky. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Down he goes. Carlson Reed picks up his first strikeout of the night. And that brings up Nolan Shanuel.
Yeah, you needed that. Now you're a pitch away at any given point from getting out of the inning if you're able to induce a double play. So well done by Reed being able to strike out Sirota and keep Jebb over at first at the same time.
So Shanuel climbs in. He's hitting just .212 across his 118 at-bats. Does have the 11 RBI and 23 walks. He's walked more than he's struck out. 22 strikeouts, 23 walks. That has been a huge plus, as it's now 0-1.
He did not look very comfortable on that swing just then. Carlson Reed able to get him to swing end of his shoes on it. Nice job done there by Carlson.
Cole McConnell, the all-star center fielder, is on deck, hoping to hit here in the inning. 0-1 from Reed. Misses the outside corner to make it 1-1. Very gloomy Monday night here, the first day in August, as mentioned, as I'm sure you know. But we play baseball. There has been one game canceled. We know that for sure. That was Bourne and Katuitt. As it's now going to be a 1-2 count. That one fouled back to the netting.
Yeah, that game was not going to start on time, and given how it's getting darker out, earlier out, it is starting to roll back. Usually before the All-Star break, you saw teams call games around 8 o'clock. You now have to start about 4 o'clock, 4:30 without lights, and so since that game wasn't going to start on time, they ultimately had to call it. My guess is that it'll be played on Wednesday with heavy playoff implications on the line.
1-2 is whacked foul off to the left. Around the rest of the Cape Cod League, Brewster on top of Orleans 10-1. That game in the bottom of the fourth. Brewster a chance to tie YD atop the division by the time that game's over. YD faces off with Chatham tonight at 7. The Anglers looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. They need to win out. As 1-2 is once again fouled. YD has lost 6 straight. They're trying to retain the top spot in the division. But Brewster, even if YD wins tonight, they'll be 2 back with a game against them tomorrow. And Brewster already having the season series would be able to take first place if they're able to eke out a win tomorrow. So a lot going on here in the Cape League.
And you mentioned Chatham needing to win out. They also need some help.
There goes Jeb. The throw down from Arndt is going to be dropped by Harrison. Not sure if he would have had him anyway. The tag was on the back of the calf, so would have been tough to tell. But Jeb swipes his 25th base of the season, and he's in scoring position now.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got such great speed, just working his way down to the bag at a blistering pace. I think even with a perfect throw there from Arndt, Jeb was going to be able to slide in safely.
The Firebirds, though, if they lose, even if the Mariners win, they'd lock up a spot, but there would still be one available. And if Orleans loses tomorrow, then Chatham's able to win out, then they would be in. Orleans would be out.
And Harwich would lock up 3rd.
Correct. Yeah, it would be a wild 24 hours, that is for sure. Still a lot that can happen. For now, Reed ahead in the count 1-2. Jeb dancing way off second, and the pitch. Breaking ball is in there. Carlson Reed wins the battle. Sean Ewell can't believe it, but he's going to have to head back to the dugout as he's the second out of the inning.
Here you go, Carlson Reed. Taking care of business, back-to-back strikeouts now. He's been taking his time out there, and I think it's been working to his favor. We've only seen 3 Harbor Hawks come up to bat, this now being the 4th, and Cole McConnell. But it's already been, feels like a long inning, but even still, I think a slower pace is working here for Reed.
As Reed kicks, delivers the first pitch to McConnell. It's outside. McConnell from Beaumont, Texas. 20 RBIs for him on the season. Has struck out 38 times, just 8 walks, but he's been a bread and butter guy. 261 for him on the season. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Reed, and that's on the outside corner. McConnell, the second of 3 All-Stars littered throughout this Harbor Hawk order. Mitch Jebb, of course, the man on, one of them. Cole McConnell, the second, and Dominic Patelli, the shortstop and 9-hitter, makes it 3. Reed comes set. And here comes the 1-1 offering. That just misses the outside corner to make it 2-1. Quickly, let's take you around the Harwich Mariners defense. They are tied for 6th in the Cape Cod Baseball League with 41 errors and a .971 fielding percentage. In the outfield, Will Hammonders in left, Ethan O'Donnell's in center with Tommy Seidel in right. In the infield, Brock Wilkins at third. Kalai Harrison's the shortstop with Nick Goodwin at second. Hunter Stokely at first. And Brian Arndt behind the dish for Carlson Reed. Another one is fouled off, so 2-2 count now to McConnell, trying to keep this inning alive. His team trails 1-0, and you can really tell it's a playoff atmosphere. Every pitch seems to take so long to come to the plate, so much going into each and every pitch. Harwich knows how much this game means. There's no time for hastiness.
Yeah, no, you cannot rush results.
2-2. This is going to be punched into shallow left field. It will fall for a base hit. Jeb rounds third. He's headed home. And Cole McConnell picks up RBI number 21 on the season to tie the ball game with 2 outs.
Choked him up. It was a strange piece of contact, but it was just enough to flare it over the head of Brock Wilkin. Unfortunate break for Harwich and Carlson Reed, who otherwise had been doing a fine job in the inning, only allowing Mitch Jeb to get on. But with that bloop single, it's a tie game like that.
That was the first hit for Hyannis. But, yeah, it's going to be a battle, tooth and nail each and every pitch as Pancho Ruiz digs in. Ruiz hitting 183 on the season. That's across 82 at-bats. Native of San Diego, California, goes to San Diego State. Reed goes for a pickoff move, but back in there is McConnell. Ruiz has just the 1 homer this season, 7 runs batted in. As there goes the runner, McConnell. Arndt's throw down is going to be in time. Brian Arndt throws out Cole McConnell at second to end the inning, but not before McConnell ties it with an RBI single to left field. It's 1-1. We head to inning number 2. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Hunter Stokely set to lead things off here in the second inning. Hyannis was able to tie the ball game in the bottom half of the inning, so it's a clean slate as we head to the next frame. Stokely on the season comes in hitting .203 with a pair of homers, 16 runs batted in. Big cut from him to start things. And he's now behind 0-1, 92 on that pitch from Driver. Stokely scored 3 times yesterday despite not having a hit. Reached on a pair of walks, a fielder's choice. Also lined out to second, was robbed of a base hit.
One of just 2 Mariners to score 3 times in a ball game this season. Previous was Nick Goodwin.
1-1 pitch. Stokely fights it off towards the Hyannis bullpen. Makes it 1-2. On deck, Tommy Seidel after a 3-game absence. He returns. Very anticipated arrival that Harwich is really excited for ahead of the postseason. Then Will Hammeter, who's also been red hot, is in the hole. That pitch to Stokely misses outside to make it a 2-2 count. Stokely, despite just hitting 202, does have 11 walks. He's been pulling his weight and getting on base. Another 2-2. Cut on and miss. Down goes Hunter Stokely. That will be strikeout number 4 for Jay Driver. He is retired every out by way of the K. And so 1 down for Tommy Seidel.
Yeah, there's only been true results so far to this point. The one run that Harwich has scored has been a home run.
Tommy Seidel, the right fielder. He's been a stud on defense all season long, but Harwich needs his bat right now. First pitch to him is in there. Batting .231. 17 runs batted in for him. Little Wellesley on Wellesley matchup here. As this misses outside to make it a 1-1 count. I'd be under the impression that they know each other, although I haven't talked to either of them about it. But it just makes sense, especially if they both went to Harvard. There's just too many parallels for them to not have cross paths at one point or another. As Tommy now behind 1-2, 94 on that fastball from Driver. One ball, 2 strikes. Driver kicks and delivers. Swung on, might have been foul tip, but nonetheless, it is strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Jay Driver. He seems to be locked in despite just the one blunder of the home run to Brock Wilkin.
Yeah, but another tough test coming up here. Not surprised to see Seidel, a guy who's back in the lineup for the first time in about a week, go down. But you have Will Haminer now, the hottest Mariner in the lineup. 2 doubles last night. See what he's able to do here.
Doubled twice, also walked, scored twice. He was awesome. Harwich has been loving the success they've gotten out of him as of recently. He's behind 0-1. Makes it 1-1. Harwich in their road blue uniforms. Say Harwich across the front in red, all trimmed in white with gray pants, red batting helmets for the time being. Hyannis in their home pinstripe jerseys. They've got the royal blue pinstripes. Says Hyannis across the chest in orange. Blue numbers trimmed in orange and blue caps. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Brian Arndt on deck. And the pitch misses outside, so Haminer hangs in there. It's 2-2. Haminer, who was hitting sub 100 2 weeks ago, is now up to 291. He has been red hot. Tuscaloosa, Alabama native. And he spoils this one over into the crowd. 95 on that pitch from Jay Driver. He can really bring the heat.
Yeah, I mean, what a matchup that this game's already been here. Been a great contest through just an inning and 2/3.
2-2. Haminer thought about it, but doesn't go around, and that loads up the count full. Yeah, just power on power right now. The Mariners, one of those weird teams where they can win a game any given night. You'll see them lose to the worst team in the league several times and beat the best team in the league several times. As Haminer lifts this into shallow right center field, coming in is McConnell, and he makes the catch while losing the hat for out number 3. Mariners go down in order quietly. 1-1. We head now to the bottom of the second. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Home half of the second, 1-1 the score, and just like to take a quick moment, welcome the pre-college sports broadcasting camp that has arrived here, visiting here at the Cape Cod Baseball League game today. It's a camp run by the New England Patriots PA announcer at Gillette Stadium and Providence Friars basketball announcer John Rook. It's a Dean College camp in Franklin, Mass, where John is a professor. Had a chance to chat with John pregame, a fantastic guy. You can tell he loves what he does. He's been with the Patriots for 34 years, PA for 31. And so definitely those kids going to his camp going to learn some great tidbits from one of the greats. Due up, Pancho Ruiz, who had his at-bat postponed after Cole McConnell was gunned down. And he watches strike one from Reed, who's back out there. Allowed just the one hit, but also walked a man in the first. So when you got a fast guy like Mitch Jebb, he is going to find his way around at any cost. 0-2 to Ruiz. After him, Jackson Ross, the designated hitter, and Drew Earhart due up. Time is going to be granted here. And here's the pitch from Reed. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. That is 3 strikes from Carlson to start off the second inning here, and his third punch out already.
Really nice job. Takes care of business. Is able to sit him down on 3, as you put it, Devin. Pulled the string on that last one, got him well out ahead of it. Excellent start here for this second inning of work for Carlson Reed.
So it's Jackson Ross's turn on the season. Ross actually making his debut for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, native of Lakeland, Florida. See what he's able to add to this powerful lineup. Did he go? No, says the first base umpire. So, I believe it will be a 2-0 count. Two balls and a strike to Ross. As Reed rocks once again and delivers. That misses to make it 3-1.
Can't be content with the one strikeout if you Reed. Got to stay dialed in, at bat to at bat.
And we know he can get wild in a hurry, as that one just misses. Arndt wanted it, tried to frame it, as that is ball 4. So Jackson Ross picks up a walk in his first Cape Cod Baseball League at bat for Drew Earhart.
And again, you're just a pitch away. Try to induce a double play here if you're Harwich.
He's going to have to be efficient as well. Already up to 31 pitches through just 1 1/3. He really does work counts. You'll see a lot of loaded counts with Reed, as it's an 0-1 count.
Exactly, and I mean, his strikeout stuff can get going. He's one of the 3 Mariners to have 10 strikeouts in a game all season long. So you can get both sides of it from him.
But we've seen him, I believe, walk 5 guys in that same game. It was quite the roller coaster of a performance. That was back against Chatham in early July. Takes a look over at first base, but back in there safely is Ross. Earhart trying to put Hyannis on top, and he lifts this one out into right field, but foul as it skips over towards the Mariner bullpen. So now Reed ahead 1-2. Once he's ahead, he's got to find ways to punch out guys. Can't let them work back into counts. Can't leave anything hanging.
No, every pitch so valuable, especially at this point in the season when you're trying to extend how far into a ball game every pitcher goes.
This one misses low and away. Good spot to miss for Reed. Makes it a 2-2 count. George Corona on deck, the catcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reed pitches, and it gets by Arndt. It's going to skitter all the way off the brick bat stop. And down to second moves Jackson Ross into scoring position.
Tough pitch for Arndt to handle. Low and outside by a good margin. Very difficult pick to be able to make, and so it's an easy base all the way down for Ross.
Reed's got to find ways to hit his spots. Does have the 3 strikeouts already, but trying to notch up a few more. Payoff pitch. And he'll take a look down at the runner and Ross. We've seen Jeb and now Ross really dancing off that bag, trying to get in Reed's head. I know he's already shaky control-wise, so why not add another element, as this one just misses as well. And now Carlson Reed has walked his 3rd man of the ball game.
And just like that, it ramps up quickly.
He does not lead the league in walks for no reason, as he's now added 3 to that statistic through just an inning and a third. 24. Reed takes a look over at second, and the pitch. Misses outside, 1-0. George Corona, the catcher, gets his first turn on the season. Corona batting just 139. That's across just 36 at-bats. Only 2 RBIs, 4 walks to 7 strikeouts. One-0 is going to be grounded. Back over toward the Hyannis bullpen. Makes it 1-1 count. Just 1 away here. Reed trying to find his way out with no harm done. And the 1-1 pitch is going to be in there. Tough one for Corona to take. He didn't like the call. Makes it 1-2.
Saw this happen in the last at-bat with Reed. He got ahead in the count, 1-2. Ended up walking him. Need to take care of it here.
Cameron Mayer is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Mariners. As 1-2 misses just a little high. Close one from Reed. He's had a few pitches that have just missed. Two balls, 2 strikes, and the West Virginia right-hander delivers. That's strike 3. Number 4 for Reed. A beautiful breaking ball at 79. He pulled the string on it, and that is going to be out number 2.
It just takes so much pressure off because now you don't need to worry whatsoever about what anybody's doing on the base paths. You can take care of business right in front of you by dealing with the batter in Patelli.
Patelli, an all-star. Definitely a tough customer, hitting .259 across his 112 at-bats. He's also walked 13 times. Miami Hurricane and a native of Florida. So they're going to peel down, see if there was a swing. No. So 1-0. Patelli looking to pick up RBI number 13 and possibly 14 and 15. That one in there to make it 1-1 to him. 2 on by way of the walk from Carlson Reed. On second, it's Ross. Earhart on first. Those were back-to-back after Pancho Ruiz struck out to start the inning. As this is going to be flied, but foul off to the right. Might have got a piece of a Mariner out there in the bullpen.
I think Cameron Mayer warming up may have actually had to have leaped out of the way of that one. Flip it off to a fan thereafter, but Hyannis introducing themselves to Mayer before he potentially even enters the game.
He's been utilized a lot more. Kind of a long relief guy. Has longer outings, 3 innings, about the average. But just pitched against Falmouth. Seems a little quick. As this is going to be grounded over to Goodwin at second. Nobody covering first. Reed is there. Heads up play by Carlson Reed to make sure Harwich gets the out. That's going to be a 4-1 put out to end the inning. So the Harbor Hawks threaten but don't push any across. It's still 1-1. We head to the third. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Eight 9-1 for the Harwich Mariners. Brian Arndt, Kalai Harrison, and Ethan O'Donnell set to get things going here in the third. 1-1 ball game. Crucial one for both sides. Hyannis does have a chance, even with a loss, to clinch the division tomorrow. But of course, would like these insurance points no matter the case. As how about this? Orleans, who was once down 10-1, they've climbed back in. It's 10-8 now in the bottom of the sixth from Stony Brook Field. Pretty good comeback. Holy cow.
How about it? Wonder if that game's going to be played to completion. That takes a lot of time to score 18 runs.
As Orleans with a win will, I'm pretty sure, clinch. So
yes, they would.
Talk about playing with your back against the wall. They were shut out last night at home. 5-0 the final. That game was on Nesson. 1-1 pitch to Arndt in there to make it a 1-2 count.
And that would actually settle a lot in the East here. That would give YD the division. It would give Brewster third, and it would, if Orleans wins, they would come in, or sorry, it would give Brewster second. Orleans would be in, and then if Harwich wins as well, it would lock it up entirely.
As down goes Brian Arndt, that's going to be strike 3. Not entirely true. Brewster, with a YD loss, could still win tomorrow and have a chance at the division.
That's right, actually.
But so much to track. I don't blame you for making a small mistake like that. God knows I have. There's just so many different patterns and combinations that could possibly happen. We have no idea who's going to be playing come Thursday. So there's one away now. That brings up the 9-hitter Kalai Harrison. Had just the 1 hit last night. Not his best game. He made 2 errors in the field. Trying to bounce back here tonight.
Had a ball bounce his way, however, offensively. It's a bounding ball that was hit over the head of Rock Riggio over at second.
So Jay Driver really locked in here. 6 strikeouts for him. Kalai Harrison trying to avoid being 7. Mariners' only offense has been from Brock Wilkins' solo home run back in the top of the first. It's a 2-1 count now with the top of the order and Ethan O'Donnell awaiting on deck.
Yeah, you just want to find some way to get Harrison on, get somebody on here for the top of the order for their second time through looking at Driver.
As Harrison fouls this one back towards the netting. It's 2-2 count. The one nice thing about the weather the way it is, very cool, Tim. You even broke out the sweatshirt early. It's kind of a nice breeze coming through here. Not too hot with the sun nowhere to be found, so definitely a couple ways to look at it. Although the rain we could be better off without.
I don't know. I'm always a sucker for the heat, so I think I'd prefer that than to be wearing a sweatshirt right now. But this is a nice sweatshirt, so I'm happy to be donning it.
I had to use mine to wipe off the water on the table. That's about where we're at. As 3-2 is cut on and missed. Jay Driver, how about it? 7 strikeouts for him through just 2 2/3. Only one of the outs has not been by way of the K. This guy is dealing.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, just unbelievable what we're seeing from him. The way that he's been able to perform. Really impressive.
Not great for the Mariner order, as the first time through they strike out 7 times. Back to the top, and Ethan O'Donnell lifts one out to deep center field. Going back is McConnelly, slips for a sec but makes the grab. Wow, O'Donnell has come really close to a few home runs and even extra base hits as of recently, but it's allowed out number 3 to end the inning. Mariners once again go down 1-2-3. We head to the home half of the third, 1-1. Cameron Mayer to the hill when we come back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Devin Dobek, Tim Foley here in the bottom of the third inning. As Carlson Reed's night is over, he goes 2 complete, allows the 1 hit, 1 earned run, walks 3, strikes out 4. And into the game comes Cameron Mayer out of Tufts University. Right-hander, 6'4", 195-pound sophomore from Syosset, New York. This will be appearance number 8 for him as a Mariner. He's made 1 start, a 1-1 record, 4.33 earned run average. 18 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 22 to just 8 walks. Top of the order. And Mitch Jebb set to start things here against Mayer. Most recently, Mayer pitched back against Bourne on the 29th. That was 1 2/3. He threw 37 pitches, 3 hits, no earned runs, and had 3 punch-outs, just with 1 walk. And then he also pitched on the 27th, or the 26th, excuse me, as this is grounded over to Goodwin. A diving stop. He lifts and throws to first, not in time. Infield single for Mitch Jebb here to start the third.
Such speed. I mean, that's about as quick as you can get that ball over if you're Nick Goodwin. Played that perfectly, but even still, not enough to be able to beat him out. Just so impressive. And I believe I'm just now noticing Riku Nishida has not been in the Harbor Hawks lineup here today. I think he's the first base coach.
There is a chance that that could be true. He's 5'6", and it looks like there's a 5'6" first base coach, which not your traditional style guy. As bunt being shown, Brian Arndt makes that ball 1. Yeah, wow, that's mind-blowing. 24 steals for Nishida, an all-star for the Harbor Hawks, but not in the lineup tonight. Bit of a head scratcher, but who knows? Maybe he'll make an appearance later on. As pulling it back now is Sirota. He struck out in the first inning. Mitch Jebb's been on base twice tonight, once with a walk in which he stole base, came around to score the only run for the Harbor Hawks, and he's also singled. Sirota trying to move him over. He's already showing bunt. The pitch from Mayer is bounced off the plate. Hits aren't in the mask and makes it a 2-1 count. Now I gotta say, a little surprising to see your two-hitter and Michael Sirota dropping one down or showing bunt, hitting .345. You got speed on first base in Mitch Jebb, guy more than capable of stealing a base. And you got a guy who can swing it at the plate, so I'm not sure why you're really sacrificing this early in the ball game. As he won't do it here, 3-1 count.
I think some of it in part has to be an understanding of the fact that the playoffs are right around the corner, and sometimes you're going to be in heated contests where the offense isn't exactly working either which way, and you're going to have to manufacture runs. And so Hyannis, they feel they're in a spot where, A, you can practice it, and B, it can seriously benefit you here.
Mayer walks him, and that puts runners on first and second here with nobody away. So Mariners digging themselves a hole. Mayer has not been great to start things off here in the inning. Nolan Shanuel will dig in. He struck out to Carlson Reed back in the first inning. Mayer in the stretch position. Runners on first and second, nobody gone by as the rain picks up once again. First pitch is going to be bunted up and over the backstop for strike number 1.
Yeah, rain is picking up. Still light. Not a whole lot of weight to the raindrops, but even still, consistent, persistent even.
So Shanuel, see if he shows bunt here again. As another thing to factor in, that ball could be slippery. If he drops one down, it might be a tough play for Arndt or one of the corner infielders to pick up and make. Might slip out of the hand.
Yeah, you want to spend as little time in the field in this game as possible. Especially being here at McKeon Park, it has its quirks, it has its charms. It can be a tough field to field a ball at.
No kidding. No balls, 2 strikes as Mayer comes set. And the pitch. Just misses outside. He wanted that one. Won't get it. Good spot to miss, though. Trying to tempt the hitter in Shanuel. Cole McConnell's on deck. He's already singled tonight. So trouble brewing for the Mariners, a game they'd really like to have. Not a must-win, but don't want to have to put themselves in that position tomorrow. Chatham Anglers also a big factor. We'll try and keep you updated on that one. Gets going at 7 o'clock against the YD Red Sox. 1-2 count still to Nolan Shanuel. Nobody gone down here in the third as we close in on 7 o'clock Eastern time. 7 of 7 to be exact. So the game has had a slow feel to it, but still going just about on pace.
Although, depending on how this inning goes here for Harwich, could be a very long half inning in the field. 2 on, nobody gone.
And that is not what you want by any means. One-two pitch coming from Mayer. Misses up high to make it 2-2.
Yeah, I think he just lost his grip on that one. 79 miles an hour, missed high. Looked like it sort of just jumped out of his hand.
So Mayer in a duel here. He finally comes set once again. Taking a couple looks at the runner and the pitch. This is going to be grounded but foul over towards the first base side. It is Riku. Well, that is confirmed, as someone from the dugout just shouted at him as he made an attempt to make the play. So we do have that figured out. Nailed it down.
He was in Wareham for the All-Star weekend.
Yes, sir. Did play in that game. A number of Harbor Hawks, of course, participated. A few pitchers as well. Two. Just misses the inside corner. Now Cameron Mayer really in some trouble, as Shanuel, a great hitter, going to have a chance to really blow things open if he's able to get on one way or another. A walk would do it, a base hit would do it. Even getting the runners over would complete his job here and get it to Cole McConnell, who already has an RBI tonight. Over at first is Sirota. Jeb's on second. Speed on the base pass. As Shanuel is set. Here comes the 3-2 offering. It's going to be popped up into center field. Ethan O'Donnell ranges over to his right, and he puts it away. Runners have nowhere to go. So there's one away. Cameron Mayer wins the battle that time.
Yeah, needed that one. A long fought one, but even still, it's better you're able to record that out after a long AB than to not be able to get that out. Say he were to get on base one way or another, and then you had the bases loaded. So take it as you can get it. Kawhi Harrison giving the signs in the infield. Making sure everybody knows what's up.
Yeah, the shortstop and catcher are always battling for that leadership role in the infield, but of course I'm sure they have that figured out ahead of time. It's funny to see who takes more charges. There's a double steal. Arndt, the throw down to third is not going to be in time. It was a bit high, and Jeb got a fantastic jump. So the Harbor Hawks, just like that, put a double steal into effect. Jeb gets down to third. Sirota's into second. And there's still just one away. A lot of things Cole McConnell can do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you aren't running at every single opportunity if you're Hyannis. I mean, they are. Just with the conditions the way that they are, so many variables that are going to make it difficult already for Brian Arndt to be able to throw it down to third base. And so, no problem being able to get into the bag.
Mayer coming set once again. And the pitch. This is going to be chopped off the foot, foul. And so that will make it a 1-1 count. 0-2 count, excuse me. Game Live says 1-0. Scoreboard says 0-1. And our scorer has 0-2. So a lot going on here, a lot of differing opinions.
And our producer, Emily Peters, right on the money, unsurprisingly.
Everybody's a little off in the press box up there for the time being. As Mayer trying to put away McConnell by way of the kite. This would be a huge one with runners in scoring position. And the pitch. Misses up high, and so it'll be a 1-2 count.
Saw this happen with Reed back during his AB. Don't want to let guys get away from you. You get 2 strikes against them with either only 1 ball or no balls in the count. Do not want to spoil that AB.
1-2 is going to be swung on and missed. He gets him swinging. Cameron Mayer, what a time for his first strikeout of the night. And that makes this a much more manageable way to get out of the inning with no harm done. There's 2 gone. Now you got Pancho Ruiz to go through. A guy who struck out at the hands of Carlson Reed. Golden opportunity for him here. And the first one right back to Mayer. It knocks him over. He's able to recover the flip on the first in time. Cameron Mayer escapes the jam in the third and keeps this a tie ball game. We head to the middle third, 1-1. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. We're into the middle third. Set to lead things off is Nick Goodwin, and taking over play-by-play duties the next 3 innings, my broadcast partner, Tim Foley. Tim.
Thanks so much, Devin. As the rain continues to pour down here at Judy Walden Scarifiel Field at McKeon Park in downtown Hyannis, my right side is getting drenched as the fans behind me are obstructed by an umbrella. As the count is 1-1 here to Nick Goodwin, who leads off this half inning for the Harwich Mariners so far on the night. He struck out swinging back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit right over to the second baseman, Drew Earhart. He makes the catch. 3 pitches, 1 out. Down goes Goodwin, and this brings up Brock Wilkin.
Driver has been locked in. Not much more you can ask for from him. I mean, the 7 strikeouts combined with just the 1 run, 1 hit. What a job he's done.
As it is Brock Wilkin who's up to bat next. Stands in. Wilkin on the day. He's the only Mariner to cross home plate. Did not spend much time on the base paths as he hit his 5th home run of the season over the fence out in left to make it a 1-0 ball game. Driver comes set, stares in. Wilkin taps on home. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss outside. It's a 1-1 count. You know what Prince said in the halftime show at Super Bowl 41 when he was performing Purple Rain, when he knew that there was going to be rain in the forecast? He said, "Can you make it rain harder?" Because he had a flair for the dramatic, and that's what this game is right now, dramatic. It's a 2-1 count here to Brock Wilkin. That last pitch in at 94 miles an hour. Joe Vitrano stands on deck. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. It's a 2-2 count now.
Feel bad for the Mariner hitters as well, because with those bats getting wet, it's going to be difficult. Don't want to throw it or anything. You lose your grip. It makes your swing a whole lot different. See how they can adapt.
Here's the 2-2. Misses up high, 3-2. Your laptop here is getting rather soaked.
Yeah.
We may have to shut that down. I would say that we should.
We're in a bad spot there.
As the 3-2 pitch comes in, that's going to be fouled off, and we'll do it again at 3-2. I would say we somehow get some paper towels from the concession stand.
I'll probably just go with the sweatshirt again.
Just dry off the laptop and then shut it down. As drivers 3-2 comes in. That's going to catch the outside part of the plate. Strike 3 called. Down goes Wilkin. That's going to be strikeout number 8 for Jay Driver. He is working in the driver's seat, you may say, here in the top of the 4th inning.
No kidding. Talk about a guy who is locked in, really trying to put this Harbor Hawk team on his back, pick up a big win tonight, and spoil Harwich's playoff hopes for the time being.
It's now Joe Vitrano up to bat, struck out looking in the first inning as he'll pop up the first pitch he sees back out to right center field. That's going back toward the fence. See ya! Joe Vitrano barrels one over the fence out in right center field, and with the swing of a bat, puts Harwich out in front, 2-1.
You gotta love it. Number 5 for him on the season. He likes what Brock was doing, adds his own touch right there. RBI number 28, extending his league high. What a season he's had, and gives Harwich back the lead. That was a run they really needed. The only 2 hits the Mariners have had have been big flies.
It's worked for them. They've grabbed the lead. As the first pitch into Hunter Stokely is going to miss outside at 93 miles an hour. Stokely so far on the night, he struck out swinging back to open up the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch. That ends up missing, as it's now a 2-0 count here.
Got huge paper towels. That's big.
Big paper towel situation now here, thanks to Chris Cassidy, public address announcer over at White House Field, who's been working social media on the road. Hunter Stokely pops this one up left side. That's going to be caught just barely by Nolan Shanuel, as it nearly escaped his grasp. Nonetheless, he's able to make the grab, and so the inning ends. But not before. Joe Vitrano cranks one over the fence out in right center field and puts Harwich back out in front. It's 2-1 Mariners. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It's the bottom of the 4th inning. The Harwich Mariners back out on the field. Cameron Mayer toes the rubber now with a 1-run lead. Joe Vitrano has put Harwich back out in front. 2 home runs in this ball game for Harwich is what has them in the lead. First man up for the Harbor Hawks is going to be Jackson Ross, the designated hitter. Walked and was stranded on second base in his last at-bat. The next offering to him is going to be popped up over to the left side of the infield. Kalai Harrison over underneath it, makes the grab, 1 gone.
Nice to get a quick out like that from Mayer. His team's got the lead. You don't know if they're going to call this game due to rain. You're going to assume they're going to try and play as much as humanly possible here but want to make sure you get those 5 innings done with the lead.
I think the thing that you have to worry about if you're thinking about potentially calling this game is the first pitch into Drew Earhart's going to be smacked back up the middle. That's going to be a first pitch single with 1 gone in the inning. So the Harbor Hawks now have a man aboard, but I think what you have to worry about is just the field conditions. Is it going to be too saturated? The infield, the outfield grass, too dangerous to actually play on. You wonder at what point that call is going to be made, because we've seen games be called before due to field conditions being too poor, but that's before first pitch. I'm not sure what the threshold is once the game starts. Be interested to learn, perhaps here tonight, where that line may be drawn. As the first pitch into Jorge Corona is going to be in for a strike, as the count's going to open up here at 0-1. It's a 1-1 count now here to Corona. Mayer comes set and delivers. Slices that one back foul, off into the field. And that'll push it to a 1-2 count now here. Continues to rain. We've seen umbrellas every which way you look. There's a large barbecue tent that is covering yet another broadcast booth here at the ballpark here today. We've seen makeshift ponchos, trash bags that have been violated by people who are in attendance here today. It's a 2-2 count to George Corona. Here's the 2-2. Hit back up the middle, picked up by Goodwin. Flipped to second for 1, on to first for 2. They got him. Double play. Down they go. 4, 6, 3. Count it. And so the inning ends. Makeshift 1-2-3. Cameron Mayer faces the minimum in the bottom of the 4th. And we head now to the top of the 5th inning. Harwich back up to bat when we return. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We bring you to the top of the 5th inning. Harwich due up to bat in this half inning of play. We are set to see Tommy Seidel, Will Hamiter, and Brian Arndt all in this half inning. Cly Harrison, perhaps, if Harwich is feeling it. Jay Driver is back out there on the mound. He's been excellent. He's struck out 8 batters across his 4 innings pitched to this point. First pitch that's into Tommy Seidel is going to miss for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Seidel so far on the night, He's 0 for 1, struck out swinging back in the second inning. He was the 5th strikeout victim of Jay Driver. Here's the pitch. That's in for a called strike, right about the letters, and it's now 1-1. One pitch is going to be hit on the ground left side. Dom Patelli picks it up. Throw on to first is on target in time. And there's now one gone here in the top of the 5th inning.
Still just the 2 hits, but both homers. Harwich has the lead for that reason. Looks a little funky in the box score, but important that you stay ahead and get this inning in. That fast 4th inning going to go a long way if you're able to secure a lead after 5 here.
And again, that is the big question. Are they going to be willing to call this game early? I think perhaps I heard some rumblings of the rain wrapping up soon, although it wasn't even in the forecast to begin with, so I don't think that this rain is on anybody's timetable right now. It's an 0-1 count to open it up here to Will Haminer.
YD and Chatham was supposed to start at 7. They have not kicked off yet. Not sure what's going on there, but could be crucial.
0-1 pitch is going to be flared out toward left field. Going back for it is Shanuel. Settles underneath it, makes the catch deep out in left field, and now there are 2 gone in the inning.
Brewster and Orleans, no movement there as well. Still 10-8 in the bottom of the 8th.
Brian Arndt now up to bat. He led off the 3rd inning, I should say. Struck out looking. Now here he is with 2 outs in the inning. Trying to make something happen here. On deck, Kalai Harrison, as Arndt pops this one up on the first pitch. Over to the 3rd baseman, Jeb. Underneath it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. We head now to the bottom of the 5th. Brian Arndt pops up. It's a quick 1-2-3. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks are back up to bat. It's Dominic Patelli who leads it off here for Hyannis. Hyannis got a man on in that last half inning. Ended up being retired on a 4-6-3 double play to get Harwich out of the inning. It was a nice job done in that half inning defensively for Harwich as they were able to bail out Cam Mayer, who let a man get on base. And so the count here now is 2-0 to Patelli. That's going to miss for a ball as well. So it's a 3-0 count now here. As we take a look around the Cape Cod Baseball League, it is 10-8 in Brewster over Orleans in a game that cannot possibly go much longer. It's been a long game. Of course, it's close to the end of that one anyway. 5-0 lead for Falmouth over Wareham. This ball's going to be popped up by Patelli, back out of play, and so we'll do it again at 3-2. And yes, that game over at Veterans Field was supposed to start at 7. I'm wondering if perhaps the game live just hasn't started yet. We've seen that a few times. I am going to take a peek around Twitter, see what we can find, as that ball's going to be popped up left side, out of play. So the count here, 3-2. And Chatham has officially been postponed to Wednesday. So the implications there in regards to playoffs, Harwich, the only way they can clinch tonight now is if they win, as this one's going to be popped up foul. Can't rely on a Chatham loss tonight because they can't lose tonight. So how about that in regards to how that shifts the scope of these final few days?
Yeah, that's obviously a hindrance, but will still be interesting to see how things go. As Hyannis in business here, you need to get this inning with the lead. You don't know how much longer the game's going to go. So that leadoff walk really could be detrimental. We'll have to see what happens here. Walking the 9-hitter for the top of the order, which has been red hot, not what you want to do.
No, certainly not, as Patelli now stands on base. Here's the first pitch that's into Mitch Jebb, who so far tonight has gotten on twice. Got on with a walk back in the first inning, ended up coming all the way around to score back in the third inning. Got on with a single. It's an 0-1 count to him here. Mayer the pitch. That'll be sliced back, and so now Mayer ahead in the count, 0-2. A chance perhaps to be able to retire the batter here in Jebb for the first time tonight. Would be pretty big to be able to sit him down. It's 0-2. Mayer nods, looks toward first, now home. Brings the glove to his waist. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit on a line out toward left field. Opposite field single for Mitch Jebb, as he's now 2 for 2 on the night.
Yeah, he's a true stud. Also has had a walk, been on base 3 times. A real pain in the butt for the Mariners. Just kind of a one-handed swing that time. Got the end of the bat on it, but right in the sweet spot. Didn't take much to muscle it out there in the left. And now Mariners really in some trouble here. Mayer in a very similar situation to what we saw a couple innings ago, as you alluded to, Tim.
And so now, up the bat, Michael Sirota. Yes, when he came in, Cameron Mayer allowed Jebb to get on with a leadoff single, then walked Sirota. Ultimately got into a jam with runners on second and third, but was able to get out of it with nobody having come across the score. Harwich thereafter in the top of the fourth. Joe Vitrano was able to belt one over the fence out in right center, and that's where we stand right now, a 2-1 lead for Harwich in what has been a rainy Monday afternoon. 1-0 pitch, bunt shown. That's going to be laid down. Brock Wilkin charging. He'll pick it up with the glove, but have nowhere to go with it. A perfect bunt. The bases are loaded with nobody gone.
Well, now you're in a really difficult position. If you're Harwich, can't afford to give up anything right now, given the conditions. You got to have the infield in. Get this out at the plate at all costs. Not sure how Coach Engler's going to play it. It looks like double play depth for now. Maybe bring the corners in. But you don't want to give Hyannis a chance to steal any kind of runs away from you. See how Mayer can respond. He's gotten out of a jam before today, but this one going to be a lot less manageable. Bases loaded, no outs, and no one scoring in the inning is very atypical.
See if Mayer's able to channel something here that he's really yet to have so far in his outing. It's the first pitch to Shanuel, which is going to miss for a ball, and the count opens up at 1-0. 77 miles an hour that one came in at. Harwich set to close out the regular season tomorrow at home against Chatham. Bark in the Park. Bring your dogs with you to that one, as that's going to be hit right over to Nick Goodwin. Throwback to second, not in time. Nearly were able to double up Mitch Jebb on second base, as Nick Goodwin was able to catch that thing on a line. Tried to transition it over to second base as quickly as possible, but even still, Mitch Jebb, he's got an excellent jump time. He was able to get back into second base safely, but even still an important out to be able to record. You can now get out of this with a double play. Easier said than done, however, as Cole McConnell comes up to bat. Singled back in the first inning, but the inning ended as he was caught stealing. First pitch into him is going to miss, and so the count opens at 1-0.
Really a gift, that last play. If you were able to get the second out, holy cow, what a swing that would have been. But you'll take what you can get. Now focus on this next batter, just pitch by pitch, and maybe baseball gods will allow you to get out of this thing unscathed.
That one's going to miss outside. It's a 2-0 count now.
Hitters count. You don't want to have to fall behind now to very capable hitter in McConnell, cleanup hitter.
And an all-star at that. Here's the pitch. Cut back foul. It's 2-1 count now. Mariners this season have been pretty blessed with good weather. I'd say league as a whole has been blessed with good weather. There was actually the only other day in which Harwich really had adverse weather conditions. They did not play through them. It was the doubleheader at White House Field against Hyannis, as that's hit on the ground right side. Fielded by Goodwin, onto second for one, onto first for two. He got him! A double play to end the inning. The Mariners are able to get out of the jam. Hyannis loaded the bases with nobody gone, but the Mariners are able to retire three batters, and so the inning ends. It's still a 2-1 lead for Harwich, and oh boy, they got out of a bind just then. We head to the top of the sixth inning. Harwich out in front 2-1. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It's the top of the sixth inning, and things are slowly slipping away from us here at McKeon Park. It's going to be Kalai Harrison who leads off for the Harwich Mariners in the top half of the sixth inning. Harrison, so far on the night, he's only had the one at-bat. He's struck out swinging. Back out there in his Prince halftime show-esque performance is Jay Driver, who is now in his 6th inning of work. I'm sure he's soaked to the bone. But he's got 8 strikeouts here tonight. Yes, he's given up the 2 home runs, but he's been stellar. It's an 0-2 count now here to Harrison. He's looking for strikeout number 9. Driver stands in, nods, comes set, kicks and delivers. That's going to be hit through the left side. Kalai Harrison down in the count, 0-2, finds a pitch to swing at, drives it through the left side. He's on base with nobody gone for the top of the order.
Huge. Great way to start it. Good response after a rocky last inning that you got out of. Now find a way to give yourself some cushion so that if you're presented with one of those situations once again, you'll have something to fall back on. These points so pivotal for you in your postseason success.
And again, with the delaying of the Chatham and YD game, it stands to be that Harwich might not clinch tonight if they don't win. So you want to take care of business as that one skips down in the dirt. Ethan O'Donnell showed bunt. It missed well below for George Corona. And down to second base amid the chaos is Kalai Harrison. So he's able to sneak into second. Mariners now with a man in scoring position with nobody gone. Nick Goodwin stands on deck as well. This top of the order here for Harwich, the top 3. Collective 1 for 6. Brock Wilkins, 1 home run, the only hit. O'Donnell and Goodwin each 0 for 2. O'Donnell a strikeout looking and a fly out to center field. It's a 1-0 count to him here. Harrison on second. Driver stares back at him. Here's the pitch. Foul tip that catches a piece of Corona behind home plate. He's a bit banged up, and so we'll take a moment as home plate umpire takes a few steps out toward the mound. It's a 1-1 count now. Saw the home plate umpire and the first base umpire each conversing in between the half innings. Not sure what about. Perhaps plans for after the game.
Or maybe how long this game's going to last for.
No, maybe. The thing that keeps me from actually believing that that was the case is that they did not bring in the third umpire to discuss, and then I did not see them talk at all with the dugouts. That's usually a great indicator as to whether or not the umpires are even thinking about calling a game, as that's going to miss inside about the feet of Ethan O'Donnell. It's a 2-1 count now. So neither Beatty nor Englert were consulted in between the half innings. We'll keep an eye out for such conversations. Try to do some deducing in between the top and bottom of the 6th, should there be any evidence, as O'Donnell hits this one on the ground right side. Fielded by Ruiz, bobbles it a bit. Thought perhaps he could have had a chance, but he ended up tripping on the dirt. Did end up getting over to first in time, and so there's the first out of the inning, but that does move Kalai Harrison now down to third base. So the Mariners have a man just 90 feet away trying to push this lead to 2.
Yeah, he's doing his job. Now Goodwin, almost exactly the guy you want up to find a place to put this baseball. We know he can get under one, send it out to the outfield, hit it to a deep part of the infield. Do your job here. Mariners have struggled with situational hitting all season, but no more time to spare. You got to be able to execute here.
Here's the pitch. That's going to run in on him. Nick Goodwin is in some pain. He stood in the righty batter's box, ready to await the first pitch from Jay Driver. And mind you, it is wet here in Hyannis. Tough to keep a grip on that ball. Flew in at Nick Goodwin at 87 miles an hour. He will take a base now. Runners on the corners for the Mariners.
Leads the Mariners in being hit by pitches. I believe number 6 or 7 for him.
Brock Wilkins on the dirt right about home plate. As there's a discussion on the mound now. They're going to bring everybody in to talk about this one. As been some action over in the Hyannis bullpen, making sure guys are getting ready, and I am not sure if I'm seeing this correctly. We've seen Riku Nishida in the infield for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. In fact, we have seen him as a first base coach. And Riku Nishida was just getting some reps over in the bullpen. He is a jack of all trades, I tell you, but he's now working his way back to the dugout. That reminds me, when are we going to see Joe Vitrano, who stands on deck, stand on the mound?
I don't know. I think he would be pretty excited to get out there. Bit of a dual threat.
He's thrown bullpens here in Harwich. You never know as the playoffs come by and arms become tougher and tougher to come by. Joe Vitrano, I know a guy who's ready to step up to the plate, or rather to the mound. Figuratively speaking and literally speaking. But for now, he's got a bat in his hands. And he stands on deck hoping that Brock Wilkin's going to be able to set him up with something great here. Runners on the corners. Here's the pitch from Driver. Wilkin tries to check his swing. He did not. He goes around. It's an 0-1 count.
Wilkin, another guy who you know can put some air under this ball. He's already had a big fly tonight. Find a home for this one. Get that run in. Give yourself some breathing room. That's the name of the game here.
Yeah, be it a home run or a sac fly, one way or another, just be able to get the ball in play some way. Still an 0-1 count as they check in on Nick Goodwin over at first base. Here's the pitch from Driver. 0-1. Misses low. 1-1. One count here to Brock Wilkin as rain continues to fall at McKeon Park. That gets away from Corona. In from third is Harrison. It's yet another run for the Harwich Mariners. They now lead it 3-1 here in the top of the sixth inning.
That'll work too. You'll take it, still get a runner in scoring position. Brock, a guy more than capable of picking up a hit, was on base 4 times yesterday. Let's see if he can smack one in. Good one with wheels. Just put it in the ground. Also going to be a tough throw to the plate you have to keep in mind. Once that ball's in the outfield, grass going to get all soaked and could affect the throw. No matter how little, could make all the difference. But that goes both ways as Goodwin could very well slip. We saw Aloha slip a couple times yesterday.
2-1 pitch to Wilkin. Gets underneath it, sends it foul. We'll do it again at 2-2. 92 miles an hour on that last pitch. But yes, you mentioned it. Mariners still with a man in scoring position. Nick Goodwin did advance as well on the ball that got back to the backstop. That one's going to miss outside. Full count now here to Brock Wilkin. Jay Driver is in his 6th inning of work. He's been worked here in the 6th. It is wet outside. He's having a tough time keeping a grip on the ball. It would appear more so here in this inning than any other. He's hit a batter. There's been a wild pitch to bring a run in. The 3-2. Misses down low, ball 4. Brock Wilkins aboard. 2 men are on with 1 gone for Joe Vitrano.
I'm not sure I agree with that one. Looked to be in there at the knees. Wilkin very easily could have been rung up, but he's lucky. Picks up his team-high 20th walk of the season, and that will be all Beatty wants to see here today from Jay Driver.
And so we head to a pitching change. The day is done for Jay Driver. We will recap his day and introduce the new arm on the other side. In the meantime, don't go too far. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We bring you back in the top of the 6th inning. The day is done for Jay Driver. His line reads as follows. 5 in the 3rd innings pitched, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, walked the man, and struck out 8. It's been a fantastic outing for him, although he is still responsible for the men on first and second, and he is currently in line for the loss, despite what's been a fine day for him. Just the offense has not been there for Hyannis, save for a run scored in the bottom of the 1st inning. So there's a new man on the mound right now for the Harbor Hawks as Vetrano slices off the first pitch. It's Austin Strickland, the Winchester, Ohio native, on the season. Strickland, an ERA, well, he's ERA of 4.5 across his 24 innings pitched. 28 strikeouts on the season as well, so he is a high-volume strikeout kind of guy. It's an 0-1 count here still to Vetrano as they continue to get settled here in this at-bat. Strickland stares in. Here's the pitch. Vetrano chops it back toward the parking lot. And so the count now is 0-2.
Still room for damage. Why not tack on a few more? Rain is starting to let up here. Just a little bit.
Well, the second you say that, Devin,
yeah,
you understand.
Yeah, we say a lot of things, though, at the end of the day.
I remember I was in Florida this past spring, along with the Fitchburg State baseball team, traveling with them, calling all of their spring training games, as that's going to miss outside. It's a 1-2 count now. They are playing a game against the Gordon College Fighting Scots. It's a doubleheader, 2 7-inning games. The first game, we get about 3 innings in, as it's a 1-2 count here to Joe Vetrano. Strickland stares in, comes set, looks back at second base. Here's the pitch. Off speed, swung at and missed, and he'll foul tip it rather, and so it's now going to remain 1-2. And out of nowhere, monsoon-like conditions. It's raining sideways. The tent is all for show. It's doing absolutely nothing. My scorebook is drenched. The broadcasting equipment is saturated with water. It was an ugly sight. It finally lets up, and I'm sitting underneath the tent as the 1-2 misses outside. It's 2-2 now. I'm sitting underneath the tent with the SID for Gordon College. And as soon as it lets up, she says, oh, look, it's starting to let up. And I kid you not, Devin, not even a tenth of a second later, it was raining buckets. The second she said that, and so I warn you from trying to project Mr. Chief Meteorologist over here.
I can feel it.
As the 2-2
it's still
is
letting
fouled
up.
off.
I stand by my statement.
You learned nothing from my story.
Nope, I learned nothing. I think the rain is holding off, and we're going to play a ball game. We're going to play full 9.
Oh, boy.
Hold me to it.
It's a 2-2 count now here to Joe Vetrano. I'm going to bring Colin Casey back from Fayetteville, North Carolina, if you end up being wrong. As that one ends up missing high over the glove of George Corona. Scuttling down to third is Nick Goodwin. Up to second is Joe Vetrano.
Here's one thing we haven't taken into account. Strickland is mic'd up or has a video
or pardon,
on his,
Brock Wilkin, excuse me. But yes, continue.
He has a video camera on his hat and maybe a mic on as well. Like, he is doing a full production here for the Harbor Hawks. You can see it on the right side of his hat.
Yes, interesting. Very interesting. Of course, content is king these days. It's all about what you're able to produce for social media, for public theater. As it's a 3-2 count to Vetrano. That's going to be hit out down the left field line. Foul. Off beyond the fence. A home run if it's fair, but it's foul, pardon.
Pace of play definitely slowing down, along with the rain.
Not that it's even been a fast game to begin with, really. I mean, it feels slow. I mean, we mentioned this back about an hour ago when we were about an hour in and a third into the ball game. Now we're about 2 hours in and about 2/3 into the ball game. But the rain is just making every last moment drag on. That one's going to be hit through the left side. That's going to get down. Nick Goodwin's in from third. Rounding third now is Wilkin. He's heading into home. 2-run single for Joe Vitrano. 5-1 Mariners in the top of the 6th inning.
That is his third RBI of the ball game. He is the first player to touch 30 RBIs this season. What a tear for Joe Vitrano. But you can see the conditions really affecting the ball game. That one just died once it hit the grass. Rolled, you can see the water kicking up as it continued out into the outfield, and definitely changed course for both the left fielder and Shanuel, as well as the ball. So we'll see. The lead also could affect how long we play. Mariners able to tack on a few more. Umps may be a little quicker with the trigger, especially in a game that Hyannis can afford to lose.
And they do have one more game to be played against Bourne, as that's going to be in for a called strike to Hunter Stokely, who's 0 for 2 on the night, with Tommy Seidel now standing on deck with only one gone. Oh, 1 to Stokely, misses outside. It's a 1-1 count now. And again, if it's even a question for the umpires as to whether or not this game's going to be played to completion. I know for our sake, for the broadcast equipment's sake, we're broadcasting on a rather wet table right now. So that's going to be hit right side, picked up by Earhart. Throw on to second for 1. That's all they'll get. Down goes Joe Vitrano. They get the lead runner, but Hunter Stokely on a fielder's choice is able to pull into first base safely.
Yeah, I'm hearing we'll play a full 9. My dad, tuning in at home, checked the radar. It's clearing up. We're going to get the 9 in. Just going to be whenever this drizzle stops that I can stop holding this umbrella.
Even the slightest bit of rain, detrimental to the life of a laptop.
I would say my laptop has hung in there.
It's been a trooper. I'm surprised that it's on, quite frankly. You're charging your phone, too, at that. A bold move.
I need to find my way home. I can't have a dead phone and get home. Like, that's just not how it would work.
Well, it took you long enough to actually get your phone charging to begin with, as the 0-1 is going to be in for a called strike. Now an 0-2 count with 2 gone in the inning. Tommy Seidel up to bat. 0 for 2 on the night so far. Struck out swinging in the second and grounded out to short back in the 5th. Devin, do you want to divulge why it took you so long to get your phone back alive after plugging it in as the 0-2 comes in? That's going to be popped up right side out to right field. We might have to wait a half inning. Michael Sirota settles underneath it, makes the catch, and the inning ends. We head to the bottom of the 6th, but the Mariners are able to tack on 3 runs. They now lead it 5-1, heading into the bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be back on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. A pitching change has been completed. A new arm into the ball game for the Harwich Mariners. They've also spread some dirt about home plate and the mound to dry things out a little bit. Saw the umpires talking with the managers in between the half innings. So we're wondering perhaps this may be the last half inning, or they're getting the quick dry out there to make sure they can at least get this one in, give Hyannis a fair chance as they're down by 4 right now. It's a 5-1 lead for the Harwich Mariners, and Hyannis presumably needs to be able to make it up here because field conditions are becoming unbearable. You can dry out the batter's boxes, you can dry out the mound, but there's just so much dirt in the infield that it becomes unsafe to play on after a certain time. The bullpen coming in to the dugout, implying that they are done warming up arms, and my guess is that they are not going to have Jake Newman, who is the new pitcher in the ballgame for the Harwich Mariners, try to go 4 complete to wrap this one up. He delivers the 2-0 pitch outside. It's a 3-0 count now here to the batter in Cole McConnell. Or no, pardon, rather, believe it to be Pancho Ruiz, who is up to bat now. That is who it is. Ruiz stands in on the night. He is 0 for 2. That's in for a called strike. It's now 3-1.
Yeah, Newman, a guy just added Central Connecticut State University from Southington, Connecticut. We'll see what he can do here. Was great in his first outing through the 2 innings. Did not allow a run.
Popped up right side. Hunter Stokely in stride, looking toward the dugout. Does he have the room? He went through the gate, so he's on his way out of the ballpark from what I take it. An early exit from Hunter Stokely. Don't believe he made the catch. He did not, so the at-bat stays alive. Riku Nishida is no longer the first base coach. They have somebody else over there now as Nishida's back inside the dugout. The Hyannis bullpen is still up and standing. Nobody warming, but they're all still out there. You figure their day's done one way or another if this truly is the last half inning, so you figure they'd head to the dugout for some cover. Perhaps more comfortable in their natural habitat out in the bullpen. It's a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to be hit out toward left field. That's going to get down. Full count, and Pancho Ruiz sends it out into left field. It's a leadoff single, his first hit of the ball game.
So you'll take it. If you're Hyannis, got to chip away, get back in it. But it's going to take a lot. Down 4 runs, despite out hitting the Mariners 6-4. You need to be able to string together a few hits, given these conditions, given how the bats are slippery. Let Newman make the mistakes and make sure you capitalize if you want to try and create some space atop the division here today.
First pitch into the next batter, and Jackson Ross is going to miss for a ball, 85 miles an hour, inside part of the plate. It's 1-0. Ross on the night, 0 for 1. Walked and was stranded on second, back in the second, and then flew out to short back in the 4th inning. Now here he stands in with a man on first. And the tying run in the hole right now for Hyannis, as that's going to miss inside. 2-0 now. Newman struggling to find the strike zone as he struggles to pick some dirt out of his cleats.
Yeah, that'll happen too. We saw,
what's a Gage Zeal, I think it was.
I'm not sure exactly,
somebody
but
or another.
Earlier in the season, it was affecting how they were landing, and of course their release point, everything gets all changed because of it. So definitely make sure to factor that in.
2-0, swing and a miss, 2-1. 82 miles an hour got it by him. Newman, one of a number of Mariners who are new to the squad. Coach Englert has been hunting for new arms as of late as the 2-1 comes in and misses for a ball. It's a 3-1 count now.
Still nobody gone down here. Like you said, no action in the pen, so going to have to take care of this now.
one way or another if you're Harwich, as it's a 3-1 count. Newman comes set, stares at first. Now home. Here's the pitch. Foul tip, back to the backstop, and it's another full count coming up. Race to the foul ball, and it's going to be Hyannis who comes away with it. Hyannis has been quick on the draw with these foul balls to the backstop in regards to the bat boy races.
Yeah, tip of the cap. He's been good.
A workhorse over there. It's a 3-2 count.
Well, I mean, you can pull any kid. All kids love to get the foul balls and everything. Think about every game ever in the Cape League.
Fouled off. We'll do it again.
He probably was scouted by someone in the Hyannis organization. They saw him pull in multitudes of foul balls, and they were like, you know what? You could be our bat boy. And I'm sure the kid was thrilled.
They have a scout at their own games, trying to make sure that they recognize the talent off the field in addition to that talent that is on the field. It's a 3-2 count. Newman stares at first. Now home. First again, home once again. The pitch. Chop fouled. Nice battle here from Jackson Ross. But yes, Newman, as mentioned, one of a slew of new Mariners. Jerry Peacock, right-handed pitcher out of Notre Dame, just recently added to the roster. Griffin Young out of Wheaton, transferring to Northeastern, also recently added to the roster. It's a 3-2 count. Here's the pitch. That's going to miss outside. Ball 4. 2 on now here for the Harbor Hawks. A single and a walk to open up the inning, and Newman's in a bit of a jam now with nobody gone.
That's a great at-bat, though, that we just saw from Ross. Really making his presence felt in his debut. He's been on base twice by walking. Quality at-bat for him there. He's able to get aboard with no outs. Harbor Hawks not completely out of this thing.
First pitch into the batter. A pinch hitter up the bat now here for the Harbor Hawks. Number 36 up to the dish. It's an 0-1 count to him. That one in at 84 miles an hour. So with new arms coming in from out of town, left and right, so important is it that you have guys ready and available to go come playoff time. And that no doubt is what Coach Englert is gearing up for, as the 0-1 is able to just catch the inside part of the plate. It's an 0-2 count now.
This is just a mess over here. I got to get this laptop away. Things are getting ugly here.
Certainly is. 0-2, hit foul. We'll do it again at 0-2. All reasoning has left McKeon Park. Fans are still here, much to their credit, but oh boy, everybody's just drenched right now. And I think it's starting to get to people. Newman stares back at second base. The 0-2. Missed up high. Arndt pops out of his glove. He's able to find it rather quickly. Keep runners pinned at first and second. Johnny Deppen now sits behind me here at McKeon Park. He is wet to the bone. He brought us all sandwiches pregame, I might add, however. Johnny Deppen did an excellent job making those sandwiches, bringing them to the ballpark here today. I used to work at a sandwich shop. The Mason Jar right in Harwichport, as that one's going to be hit over into center field. That's going to get down. Everybody's going to move up a base. Nobody comes around to score, but now the bases are loaded with nobody gone here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Saw this happen earlier in the ball game, where Hyannis was able to get the bases loaded with nobody gone. That was back actually in the last half inning. It was a leadoff walk to Dominic Patelli. Mitch Jebb and Michael Sirota thereafter each got on as well. So we'll see if Harwich can get out of that jam now twice, as Harwich does now finally have life back up in the bullpen. Garrett Harker is up, warming, getting that right arm loose, the Cincinnati Bearcat. Conversation on the mound being had right now between pitching coach Steven Rosen, Jake Newman, and Brian Arndt. The trio disperses, and so we get set now for another pitch.
Things getting a little dicey here. Tying run up. Still nobody down. We saw Mayer get out of this situation once before. But to do it 2 times in one game is asking a lot. Need Newman to find a way to just keep the lead till the next inning.
That's in for a called strike as the count opens at 0-1. And I think the thing that has to give you some more confidence here if you're Harwich is that it was just a 2-1 game at that point in time back in the 5th inning. Much higher stakes then, but now you have a 4-run lead as that's cut on and missed. George Corona swings through that one, the catcher. It's an 0-2 count now.
That dog that you're maybe hearing has got to be pretty wet at this point in time.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes Corona. First strikeout for Newman. There's now 1 gone in the inning.
Yeah, and that's huge. If you're Newman, now you can get out of it with a double play. Getting those non-contact outs with runners in scoring position are so important. If you're able to do that, it's going to make your life a lot easier as a pitcher. See how he's able to tally on to that. Now he's getting into the 9-hitter in Patelli, but Mitch Jebb on deck, so running out of time to make something happen.
Bunt laid down. Newman charges at it. Bare hand throw to home. They get the force out at home. Heads up baseball. Bare-handed flip from Newman is able to get the out and maintain the lead. Very nice flip home to cut down Pancho Ruiz.
That was a drag bunt attempt that we saw from Patelli, but he knocked it right back to Newman, and to be able to grab that slippery ball after it hits the ground with your bare hand and go home, pretty impressive. Great job there, and still keeping runs off the scoreboard. Harwich might get out of 2 bases loaded opportunities with no runs. There's 2 gone here. Still got a pitch to Mitch Jebb, but you want to end it right now. He's been on base every plate appearance he's had today.
He is 2 for 2 with a run scored. Singles in each of his last 2 at-bats back in the 3rd inning and 5th inning. Count opens at 1-0 here to him. Jebb holds the bat out. Newman comes set. Jebb goes into a half squat. Newman, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Or no, parted. Foul tips it rather clearly off into the night. It's a 1-1 count. Some conditions these have been here tonight. The field is saturated with water. Ready to become Lake McKeon. The 1-1. Called strike 2. Newman now a pitch away from getting out of the inning. The Harbor Hawks loaded the bases with nobody gone. Corona then went down swinging. It was a force out at home to cut down Ruiz, and now Newman looking to strike out. Mitch Jebb here to end the inning. A 1-2 count. Newman comes set, stares in. Here's the pitch. Popped up out toward left field. Will Hamiter tracks it, makes the grab. And the Harwich Mariners, for the second straight inning defensively, get out of the jam. The bases were loaded with nobody gone for the second straight inning, and Harwich somehow, someway, keeps Hyannis off the board. The Harbor Hawks have not scored since the first inning. It's 5-1 Mariners. We head to the top of the seventh inning. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. It's the top of the seventh inning. The Harwich Mariners back up to bat. They hold a 5-1 lead over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. For play-by-play across the final 3 innings of play, if we get them in, my broadcast partner, Devin Dobeck. Devin.
Thank you, Tim. It will be Will Hamiter leading things off here, followed by Brian Art and Kalai Harrison. 3 runs were scored back in the 6th inning by the Mariners. They're trying to eke out a win here tonight, as first pitch from Strickland is in there for a strike. Or excuse me, second pitch, it's 0-2. And the 0-2 offering is going to be lined into left field. Will Hamiter checks in, extends his hit streak. He has been on fire. He's now 1 for 3 on the day.
Just so impressive to see Hamiter continue his success. Unsurprising at that. It's been a lot of fun to watch these past few games, and you need that. Guys who are getting hot at just the right time, able to help contribute to what could be a Harwich win here today, what would ultimately help them to clinch a playoff spot.
Digging in is Brian Arndt, 0 for 2 on the day. Most recently popped out to third base. That was the 5th hit for the Mariners in the ball game. It's 0-1 to Brian Arndt on the inside corner. Kalai Harrison on deck, followed by Ethan O'Donnell at the top of the order. Showing bunt again and pulling it back to make it 0-2 is Arndt.
There's the foghorn, in case anybody was wondering. The ferry's in town.
Oh, 2 from Strickland. It's going to be checked, but no, he did not. So he'll live to see another day.
I wonder if perhaps somebody who won a free trip on a Highline cruise is on that boat right now at a Harwich Mariners game through the 50-50 raffle.
That one cut on and missed, and that will be strike 3. One down. Brian Arndt is retired. That brings up Kalai Harrison here with one on.
What do you think the odds of that are, Devin?
I don't know. I would like to think that they're probably not doing that right now, given the conditions, but who knows?
Well, we just heard the boat, unless it's a different boat.
Probably a different boat would be my guess.
Could be.
It's Kalai Harrison. It's already got a hit today. There goes Hammeter. Hit and run in effect as this one is swatted off to the left for strike 1. Top of the 7th inning. Wet day here. My scorebook could be ruined. That would not be great. But we roll with the punches. Might have to relieve myself of a page or two, but we officially retired it for the ball game. Just too wet. That one misses outside to make it a 1-1 count. O'Donnell on deck. NC State shortstop and Harrison looking to check in here. See if Hammeter is put in motion. And there he goes. Swing and a miss. The throw down is going to be in time. That will be an out. Will Hammeter is caught stealing. And now the bases are empty with 2 away, just like that, as Harrison couldn't get a bat on the ball. It was an errant pitch outside. Did take the swing, so leads me to believe there was a hit and run. And so now he's down 1-2. The pitch. That one just misses the outside corner. Hyannis infield thought they had that one. Started running in. But they'll have to live to play another out. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again. So we stay at 2-2. O'Donnell on deck. Mariners lead 5-1. The pitch. Cut on and miss. It's in the dirt. The throw down from Corona is in time for out number 3. So Will Hammeter gets a single but is caught stealing. So it's a makeshift 1-2-3 for Strickland. He bounces back in the 7th. Time to stretch here from McKeon Park. It's 5-1 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. We welcome you back. It'll be Sirota to lead things off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Back out there is Jake Newman. He got out of a bases-loaded situation with nobody gone down without surrendering a run. He looks for a cleaner inning this time. After Sirota, it'll be Shanuel and Cole McConnell. 2-3-4 for the Harbor Hawks. 0-1. Misses up high to make it a 1-1 count. Rain has stopped, which is nice, but still just wet conditions, table all wet. We had to retire the scorebook because it was just getting flipped over in the water and all ruined and things like that. The laptop's away. We're just calling a game right now, so bear with us if it's a rather bland broadcast, but doing what we can with what we have. It's a 1-2 count now.
We'll chop it up. No worries.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Newman rocks and delivers. That is going to be flared out towards shortstop, but it's come down into the glove of Kalai Harrison. He puts that one away for out number 1 here to start the home half of the 7th.
Yeah, just jammed them up a little bit. Harrison, a nice job charging in to be able to catch that ball in time.
Brings up Shanuel. No errors in the ball game, which is really surprising when you think about how easy it would be to make an error with the field conditions the way they are today. As that one misses outside to make it a 1-0 count to start off Shanuel.
But how about this if you're Harwich? The fact that you're able to come into McKeon Park and take this Harbor Hawks team here to the brink, leading by 4, bottom of the 7th inning. Hyannis has not scored since the 1st inning. You have to like putting up numbers like this against a team with the best record in the league.
You don't say. You've already taken 1 from them, though, but that was a game you had 1 hit going into the 7th inning.
And that was early in the season, too, with a lot of different personnel. Although, of course, it was Nick Goodwin who ultimately put Harwich over the top, who's still with the Mariners.
3-1 is the count now. Newman in jeopardy of walking yet another man. As Shanuel tapping the foot. He awaits the next pitch, and it's down low, ball 4. So he's on here with 1 away. That will bring up Cole McConnell. Just past 8:20 Eastern time here on a gloomy Monday night here to start off the month of August. Mariners 8 outs away from locking up a playoff spot. It would be awesome if they were able to do that here in enemy territory and then return home against Chatham with most of the pressure alleviated.
This happened last year as well. Granted, it was the last day of the regular season last year in which every last game was rained out, not to be made up with no makeup games last season, but something about early August, something about trying to end the season right that Mother Nature just seems to disagree with.
Long look in from Newman. And here comes the pitch. That misses to make it a 2-1 count. And just to remind you, Orleans lost today. They've now lost back-to-back games. So that leaves the door open for Chatham, even with a Mariner win here tonight. What do the Anglers need to happen? Well, assuming that the Mariners hold on to win this one, they have a 4-run lead right now in the late innings, then they would need the Firebirds to lose tomorrow And then they would have to defeat Harwich on Tuesday, which would be tomorrow, and then beat YD on Wednesday to punch their ticket. Odds are definitely in the Firebirds' favor. They lost 11-8 tonight to Brewster, who is 2 points away from clinching the division.
Yeah, they win tomorrow. That's it.
Is that one just barely in there? That makes it a 3-2 count. So a game for the division tomorrow, and then a couple games to determine the final playoff spot, potentially. A lot of excitement in the East.
And I think one of the things that you need to keep in mind as well is the fact that Harwich now has an off day Wednesday. They've always had the off day Wednesday, but potential opponent in YD will not.
As this one's over to Goodwin at second. He fields and throws to Stokely to get the out. Runner does advance down to second in Shanuel.
Because the playoffs start on Thursday no matter what. That's happening. Of course, unless you have an important game get rained out on that Wednesday, that they would postpone it. But nonetheless, playoffs start on Thursday. So, could be heavy implications where, say, YD, yes, they get an extra day today, perhaps to rest some guys, but they would be coming in to a potential first-round playoff matchup if they don't blow the large lead that they had atop the East. Coming into that playoff matchup potentially against Harwich with having played 2 games back-to-back. Certainly could favor Harwich.
Call to the bullpen here at McKeon Park. We'll take a quick break as the night is over for Newman. We'll be right back. 5-1 Mariners on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Garrett Harker to the hill now, out of Cincinnati. We'll see what he can bring here, the right-hander. 5'9". As he is set to face off against, let's see here. We're going literally off a phone lineup, so bear with us. Pancho Ruiz, the first baseman. As this is bounced in the dirt to make it a 1-1 count. So Newman leaves, responsible for the runner on second, but does not allow a run. He got into some trouble, but has bailed himself out of it. To this point, we'll see if Harker can pick up where he left off, as Harwich trying to creep closer and closer to the big dance in the postseason.
Yeah, Harwich, the only team in the East with an active playoff streak of 3 seasons. Trying to keep that alive.
So that misses down and in.
It was Brewster, the only other team to make the playoffs last year, and then the last season with playoffs before then, 2019, Brewster was the one team to miss it. And then Harwich made it in 2018 as well, last time they missed, 2017.
Now a 3-1 count to Pancho Ruiz. On deck, Jackson Ross, the designated hitter. He's been great today for him. It's going to be a 2-shower kind of day for me, Tim. I don't know about you, but definitely going to need to hop in there when I get home.
I've already taken a shower.
Oh, that's why I said it's going to be a 2-shower day. This one is lifted out to left field and hauled in by Will Hammeter. So that will be out number 3 as we head to the 8th inning. Still 5-1 Mariners. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we welcome you back. Ethan O'Donnell, Nick Goodwin, and then Brock Wilkin due up here in the inning for the Mariners. Strickland back to the hill as Harbor Hawks whip it around the diamond here to start things in the 8th inning. First pitch is fouled off by O'Donnell to make it a 0-1 count. This is his 4th plate appearance today. Mariner offense has tallied 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors still, whereas Hyannis 1 run on 7 hits, no errors. Cameron Mayer is lined up for his 2nd win of the season, which is a positive for him, as this is grounded over to the second baseman in Earhart. He fires over to first, and that's out number 1 here in the 8th inning. So Nick Goodwin's turn. He's had a pretty good game all around. We'll try his luck against Strickland once again. And the first pitch to him is going to be chopped into fair territory. Strickland going to field and go to first. A nice pick by Pancho Ruiz to record the out. Wow, what a play that was. And that will be out number 2.
How many times have we seen this where a pitcher fields a ball that's dribbling right their way? All they have to do is throw it on to first base, but they miss low, they miss wide, they miss high, one way or another. That one was postmarked to miss down between the legs of the first baseman, but nonetheless an impressive pick by Ruiz as he's able to pull that one out and have there be now 2 outs in the inning.
Brock Wilkins' turn. As here's the first pitch from Strickland to him. Runs in, almost got him, but that'll make it a 1-0 count. As here's the 1-0. That one also almost got him, almost identical carbon copies of each other, but it's a 2-0 count. Joe Vitrano on deck. He already has a big fly in this game. We've seen him do damage. Harwich will take all the offense they can get here late in the ball game. That one is in there at the knees to Brock Wilkin. Another guy with a home run. Both these 3 and 4 hitters have homered. Harwich, yet another multiple home run game. They fare much better when that happens, as you would imagine. 2-1 is maybe foul tipped, and that makes it a 2-2.
I mean, just so huge to be able to have guys help power your offense early on. When you weren't able to get your whole lineup going, just 2 guys who took it upon themselves to give you an early lead, and Harwich has since built.
This one up at the eyes, and a 3-2 count now. Just crossed 8:30 Eastern time. 8:34 as the game goes on. As this is cut on and miss, Wilkin goes down swinging. A nasty breaking ball in there from Strickland to end the 8th. We head to the home half. Hyannis looking to get some offense together. We'll take a quick break. 5-1 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Jackson Ross is the man stepping into the box. Face off against Garrett Harker. Ross has been on base a few times with walks tonight. See what he can do. His team needs base runners. They trail by 4 runs. And his first pitch in is going to be a strike just above the knees. A 1 count. Mariners 6 outs away from clinching a spot in the postseason. And that is also in there on the inside corner. 0-2 now to Ross, making his debut.
You love to see it from Garrett Harker getting ahead of guys here. Chance to continue. It's been so far solid stuff from him.
1-2 count now. Harker's had a lot of ups and downs. We've seen him go quickly through innings. We've seen him struggle as he picks up a strikeout here. Gets away from Arndt. Going to have to make a good throw. A long stretch from Stokely. And he's on the bag. That is a big out, number 1. Brian Arndt doing everything he can to get that put out. It's big out, number 1 here to start the 8th for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, you can't let that one get away from you. Let a man get on base. Really Nice stretch from Hunter Stokely, who's just got enough frame in him to be able to reel that one in.
This is quickly grounded over to the shortstop, Harrison. He kicks and fires. Stokely left the bag and applies the tag. I'm not sure if he needed to leave the bag, to be completely honest with you.
Interesting.
But he does anyway, and it will be a wacky out number 2 is, what do we have here? Riku Nishida coming in to pinch hit for the Harbor Hawks here late in the ball game.
Yeah, we've seen him be the first base coach here tonight. We've seen him throw in the bullpen for the Harbor Hawks, and now here he is standing in, the lefty. Chance to perhaps jumpstart this Harbor Hawks offense.
Interesting time to do it, as Jorge Corona's lifted from the game, so there will be a new catcher coming in for the Harbor Hawks. 2 down in the 8th. As Harker is ready. Here's the first pitch to Nishida, the pinch hitter. A JUCO guy who just transferred to the University of Oregon. Congratulations to Riku. As the 1-0 comes in. This is up high, and now 2-0.
Don't want to let it get away from you if you're Harker. You've done an excellent job so far this inning. Want to keep that exact same approach as you now take on Rashida.
Nishida will take practice swings both righty and lefty, which is so interesting. Only hits lefty. But just kind of an old ritual he has. I'm sure it does something that allows him to have a better plate approach.
Give some perspective, perhaps.
2-0 pitch is going to be in there for a strike. A tough call there. That one was just above the dirt. Makes it 2-1.
Yeah, Arndt ultimately dropped it. Don't often see a ball that's dropped to get called for a strike, but Harwich able to benefit them.
So Harker trying to retire Nishida. Two balls and a strike here. As breaking ball misses way outside, gets by Arndt. And he's going to go talk things over with Harker. Another race for the ball. Harwich wins this one. So a rare loss from the Hyannis bat boy. Respect the efforts both ways. I'm waiting for a collision behind there. They both go in hot.
Don't say that.
They both go in hot.
They
I'm
do.
not saying I would like one. I'm saying I'm waiting. I'm anticipating that there could be one with these guys putting it all on the line to get these pass balls. Three-one pitch from Harker is going to miss outside, so Nishida's on the bases. We know he can run. He's swiped 24 bases this season. Will we see number 25? I'm sure he may be put in motion. Of course, the lead 4 runs. You don't want to run into any outs, but also want to chip away best you can. So we'll see how Eric Beattie decides to play it. 2 away in the 8th and 1 on. He's got that quick lead, too, over from first base. First pitch, there he goes. Delayed a bit as the throw down is going to not get him. And that's really interesting. I was so confused as to why Nishida hesitated when he was stealing, but it's to get Harrison behind the play because he assumes now that Nishida is not going to take off, and then he takes off just a split second later. And so he's forced to get over to the bag. Nishida might have been out if Harrison was on the bag, but picks up number 25 there. That's why he's one of the best in the business. As here's the pitch to Patelli. Swung on and missed. Makes it a 1-1 count. Patelli, the all-star shortstop. After him, it'll be the top of the order and Mitch Jebb. Harker comes set. Here's the 1-1. Just misses outside to make it 2-1. Harker, a long look in. The pace not picking up at all. Everybody's still going through their entire motions. As this is cut on and missed to even up the count at 2. The deuces are wild. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, don't even worry about Nishida right now if you're Harker. Chance to end the inning here.
And it's cut on and missed. A little extra on that from Harker. He lets out a grunt, and the side is retired. So we head to the 9th. Harwich 3 outs away from the 2022 postseason. They look for some insurance before they head to defense for the last time. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And we welcome you back. Set to start off the top of the 9th is going to be Joe Vetrano. He'll be accompanied by Hunter Stokely on deck, as well as Tommy Seidel to hit here in the 9th.
New pitcher on the mound here for the Harbor Hawks, Jackson Amos.
See what he's able to do. Nishida's over at second now in the defensive change. I believe Pancho Ruiz is now the catcher.
Yes, he is.
And so there's definitely some more defensive changes. I'm sure a new first baseman as well. But for now, it's an 0-1 count to the Boston College power hitter. And the pitch. Checked his swing, but he absolutely went around. So says the home plate umpire, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, Hyannis has brought in their closer. So far, he's thrown 16 complete innings. This is his 13th game he's appeared in. ERA .56.
Solid stuff, that is for sure. As another check swing, yes he did, says the home plate umpire. Ruiz has got it, fires down to first, and that is out number 1. I believe that Earhart is playing first now, which would make sense because he was at second. Yeah, it is Earhart. They had him in the lineup listed at number 7, but he's wearing number 36 tonight, so go figure. Kind of adds to the theme that we've experienced tonight with a lot of unorthodox things. Called most of the game under an umbrella, huddled under, and not a big umbrella, a very small one.
Very small umbrella. One of the wings of it broken as well.
Yeah, no, that was not fun.
Adverse conditions here at McKeon Park.
But we're still here, and the Mariners still have a chance to lock up at least a playoff spot, 3 or 4 seed. We don't know just yet. That is foul tipped. Stokely down in the count 0-2. What we do know is a win here tonight will guarantee them a date with either the YD Red Sox or the Brewster Whitecaps, depending what happens in that game tomorrow, as well as with the Anglers the rest of the way.
Yes, they have locked up the 1 and 2 seeds.
The order still not determined, but yes, locked up between those two clubs as Stokely hits this off the toe of the bat there, and we'll stay at 0-2.
Wednesday's game between YD and Chatham could be inconsequential ultimately. I mean, if Orleans wins tomorrow, then they clinch and Chatham is all but done. And then YD, again, if they lose tomorrow, then Brewster clinches, and that Wednesday game means absolutely nothing.
1-2 count to Hunter Stokely. Trying to fight back. Tommy Seidel on deck. He is due up in the inning.
You do have another Wednesday game that's, I would say, more likely to mean something between Catuit and Bourne. That was also rained out today.
1-2. Misses up and away. So Emis struggling to find the zone here. Ishida dancing all over the infield. As here's the pitch. That is going to be just below the knees to Stokely. Good eye from him there. He's got really good discipline at the plate. And it'll be a 3-2 count. Emis comes set once again. And this is grounded over towards the first base side, but foul. And so we'll do it again.
Nice fight here from Stokely. Not making it easy for Emis whatsoever.
In a seemingly meaningless game, the Falmouth Commodores defeated the Wareham Gatemen today, 5-2, just a minute ago. I say seemingly unimportant because Wareham is out of the race and Falmouth cannot advance any higher than they are. So just playing for a win, playing to finalize some things. As Stokely grounds another one over to first, it's fielded by Earhart and goes over to tag first base for out number 2. So now Tommy Seidel's turn. Just returned from an absence, looking to make an impact late in the game here. Maybe knock around the closer in Emis. Then you got Will Hamder, his Alabama teammate, on deck. First pitch to Emis, or from Emis rather, to Seidel, and time going to be granted. Not sure what's being discussed. Home plate umpire has a few words, and we're back. Here's the first pitch to Seidel. Thought about it, didn't go, and it'll be a 1-0 count. 2 away in the top of the 9th. Hyannis, of course, has last licks. As Emus kicks, fires, and that one just misses. Where? Don't ask me. And it's quickly 2-0. Still a few diehard fans in attendance here tonight. Credit to them who have stuck through the rain despite how slow the game has really been, especially the past few innings. As that's another pitch outside to Seidel. He's looking for ball 4 now. He's ahead in the count 3-0. Will Hammeter on deck. He already has a hit tonight. Emus trying to make Seidel the last batter he has to face. And the pitch. Right down the middle. 3-1. Emus does that little squat motion before he gets into his set. Seidel calls time. Home plate umpire. I'm not sure what is going on right now. I think there's 5. What is going on?
Yeah, he's motioning some way or another with his hands toward the infield. Umpire's calling the shots now.
I have
That was interesting.
no idea what just happened. He just pointed at some players to move over on defense, and now they've reverted right back. I could not tell you what that was. As this is foul tipped into the mitt, so now a 3-2 count to Seidel.
Way to battle back here for Emus. We're behind at the count, but now have pushed it full here. Chance to get out of the inning, having faced just the minimum.
Payoff is going to be grounded over to Nishida off his glove into left field. So Seidel reaches, should be scored a hit. Thanks to how difficult that play was. A nice at-bat for Tommy, a quality one. And he picks up the 6th hit of the night for the Mariners.
Yeah. Nice effort defensively by the Harbor Hawks as they were able to bat that one down. Even still, Nishida. But ultimately unable to turn on it. So Harwich stays alive here in the inning.
Will Hammeter digs in. And first pitch from Emus misses outside. The zone has stayed tight. Credit to the umpire. Done a great job of being consistent despite how this game has felt. Brian Arndt on deck. He'd love another opportunity here in the 9th inning. And the pitch to Hammeter is going to find its way into the zone on the inside corner, making a 1-1 count. Emus comes set, and there goes Seidel. Swing and a miss. The throw down from Ruiz not going to be in time. Seidel is in there. Another stolen base. For him now 12. That's a ball club high. So an RBI opportunity for William Hammeter. Trying to drive in his Alabama teammate. 1-2 count. The pitch. This is going to be grounded over to third base. Fielded, and the play on to first is wide. Gets by Earhart. Seidel's in to score. Hammeter down to second with a slide. And so the first error of the ball game comes with 2 outs in the 9th, and the Mariners earn another run out of it.
Despite what's been an otherwise clean game, yeah, you said it, first of the ball game, first error. Harwich is able to capitalize. Bring a man across. Impressive to see both teams get to this point without too many errors. But nonetheless, you capitalize when you get your opportunities.
So, Brian Arndt will dig in now. Arndt would love a nice little base hit here. Pick up another RBI. He had 3 last night. That is his season high. He's up to 6 now for the Mariners. On base percentage coming in today, .361. Started last night, gets rewarded for his performance with another start tonight. Matt Gassetti, of course, at his expense. But you can't complain with how Arndt has been for you on both sides of the baseball. As here's the 1-0. Cut on and miss, makes it a 1-1 count. Harrison on deck. Mariners have tacked one on here in the 9th thanks to an error. That will be charged to Mitch Jebb. As Hyannis misses outside that time to make it a 2-1 count.
Yeah, how about it? Things just getting away from Hyannis here. Generally a guy who works at an efficient clip. But he's struggling here. Of course, the 1 run unearned. His ERA of .56 untouched. But even still, has not been an easy inning for him.
As the pitch. Going to just miss. Make it a 3-1 count. Zone is really tight. Not sure where some of these are missing. So Arndt looking to get on with a walk. So here comes the 3-1 offering from Hyannis. It's fouled off. And that will load up the count at 3-2. Arndt taps the plate, points out the bat, looking for an RBI. Hyannis comes set once again. Here comes the payoff pitch with 2-away. Swung on a miss. Down goes Arndt, and that will end the top of the 9th inning. So we head to the bottom of the 9th. The Mariners 3 outs away from clinching a playoff spot in 2022. They lead at 6-1. It's winning time. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. So we're into the 9th inning, and they call upon the bread and butter closer, Drew Conover, who is tied for the team low in earned run average at 1.59, along with Joe Savino, making his team high 12th appearance here tonight for the Mariners. We'll see what Drew can do. Just recently announced he will not be going and joining the Detroit Tigers organization after being picked in the 20th round. He will continue his college career at Rutgers, where he's just transferred. Both his parents went there, and he's really excited to do that. So, we'll see if he can make the most of his time left here with the Mariners, as I've mentioned multiple times. First pitch now to Jeb, misses down low, 1-0.
And immediately they're going to come out and have a talk about that one. Arndt and Conover, you really want to make sure you're on the same page here. Yes, you have a 5-run lead, but do not want to give life to this Harbor Hawks team that has been one of the best all season long in being able to score runs. It's just been absolutely impressive what this Harbor Hawks squad has done as a team when you look at it. I mean, currently right now, poised atop the league in runs scored at 205. So if anyone can do it, it's them.
This is fouled off. 93 miles an hour on that pitch, 1-1 count. Over the 3-hour mark now. It's 9:05 Eastern. Just 3 outs left to play. One ball and a strike. The pitch misses up and away to make it an even count. Sirota on deck, followed by Shawnuel. Harbor Hawks need 5 to steal a point. 95 on that last pitch from Conover. He is bringing it, as this is going to be grounded over to Harrison at shortstop. He picks and fires on the first just in time. A beautiful play by Kalai Harrison to retire the first man.
Yeah, excellent job being able to pick that one. Just got it with the end of the glove. A little low dribbler his way, but fielded that expertly and made the throw on to first. Boy, his defense really has come along, it feels, Kalai Harrison, over the course of this season. I mean, he's a guy who got hurt back early in the spring. And so this baseball here on the Cape, the only baseball he's played in the past few months. It's been a lot of fun to see him come to life defensively here for Harwich.
So Sirota is up here with one away. Conover looking for a clean inning to end the ball game. First pitch now to Sirota is in there for a strike. Nasty breaking ball at 80 miles per hour. A 0-1 pitch from Conover, misses down in the dirt, and that makes it 1-1 count. Conover set once again. The pitch misses down low, 2-1.
This does a lot for you being able to clinch today if you're Harwich, if you're able to lock it up here in regards to your pitching. Not that tomorrow's necessarily a throwaway game, but you don't need to worry about exhausting every last arm to make sure you make the playoffs.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Conover looking for his first strikeout of the day. And the pitch. This is going to be fought off over into foul territory and into the trees. Two balls, 2 strikes. Conover comes set once again. And the pitch. Bounced in the dirt, makes it 3-2.
Tried to get him to bite with the off-speed pitch just in front of home plate, but dropped off a bit too early to be able to entice him.
Conover set. Here's another payoff pitch. Just misses. It'll be ball 4. He issues a walk to Sirota, who heads down to first with just one away. And Shanuel coming up.
Not ideal, you walk a man on, but you're still a pitch away from ending this thing, should you be able to induce a double play. So always keep that in mind if you're Harwich, as you now face off against Shanuel.
Conover would love a ground ball here. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. So he starts him off 0-1. A 1 offering from Conover is going to be nubbed over to Harrison at shortstop. He'll catch it. And that will be out number 2. Back to the bag safely is Sirota. But there's now 2 down for Cole McConnell. McConnell's had a good day. Picked up an RBI. Hit or 2. Conover wants it to be the last man he faces here. He's already walked a man. Mariners 1 out away from clinching. First pitch. It's going to be right down Broadway for strike 1 to McConnell. A 1, there goes the runner. Doesn't really mean much at this point. 0-2 count, so it's stolen base for Sirota. Drew Conover, 1 pitch away from putting a bow on this one and sending the Mariners into the postseason. After a lot of ups and downs, what a time it's been. And now it all comes down to this final out. 5-run lead over the Harbor Hawks. Conover comes set. And the pitch. This is going to be grounded over to first. Stokely Fields takes it himself, and the Harwich Mariners are going to the 2022 dance to compete for a championship. They extend their playoff streak to 4 straight seasons, and they sneak in here as either a 3 or 4 seed. That is yet to be determined. A huge win against the road, against the top team in the West. And Coach Engler still close to 400 wins. He needs just 3 more to notch 400. He'll have a chance to do that. We'll take a quick break and be right back. Mariners going to the postseason. Post-game show coming up in just a moment. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome to the Harwich Mariners post-game show. What a game it was. The win will be to Cameron Mayer as the loss goes to Jay Driver. What a game. 6-1 victory for the Mariners over the Harbor Hawks on the road. Tim, a lot of good stuff. We saw a home run from Brock Wilkin, Joe Vitrano. He had a 3 RBI game, and just really nice to head home and not have to play for a spot in the playoffs against Chatham tomorrow.
No, exactly. To be able to put together a showing like that and ultimately be able to come out on top against Hyannis on the road, it proves a lot. It proves that you can really take down anybody in this league because of how you're able to take down this Hyannis team, the one that's been really giving everybody fits all season long. So you come in, you take care of business, And so important was it that you had two guys in Wilkin and Vetrano power you to victory here tonight, give you that initial lead, help to get you out in front, get some confidence, and then you follow it up with a 3-run inning, put you up 5-1, tack another one on later on, and you end up coming out on top. Really excellent team win here tonight. Offense came through, pitching was fantastic through and through. And this is a team that, despite a rough month of June, picked it up in the month of July and has certainly looked like a playoff team, I would say, across these past few weeks.
They surrendered just the 1 run tonight. An array of 5 pitchers go for Harwich as they're able to escape out of McKeon Park with a win. Will we be back here? We won't know. If possible, it will be the championship series. The magic number now for the Mariners is going to be 6, not including tomorrow, of course, the last day of the regular season. But you got to win 6 postseason games, 3 best-of-3 series to be crowned champions. Well, we'll see how long this seemingly Cinderella story will last on. But for now, we'll take a quick break until tomorrow. So, on behalf of our entire media team, my partner Tim Foley and myself, Devin Dobek, thank you so much for joining us on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. And always remember to live the dream.
So yeah. All right. See you, Mike. I wonder if Emily's going to go with critical in the interview. Go with what? Critical. Critical means yeah. I don't know what she was trying to do. Well, no, I know she was. We're serious implications. What's that? That's a heavy word. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like, she's trying to express, like, you know, you're going to have this win in the playoffs. I can understand what she's getting at, but she's just not getting it. She's just like, but we're having everybody better. Harding should start to win. Like a slap. What do we want? Trash bags. Trash bags to the base. Even though they're wet? Here, put that in there. Let's see if I can't fix the out. For now, we got damage control tomorrow and get trash bags from the field. I'll just load this up as usual. People do it because it's new. You want to tell people like as soon as it's relevant. Like, you know what? Maybe I just like pull out because I don't think it was this bigger. Why? Well, because I like this. You like trash bags? Yeah. It saves your allowance. We can get new trash bags. It's like $1 million. struggle to get trash bags for the upstairs trash bin so often.
Well, that's just because we're all too lazy. I think that we could get it. I wouldn't worry about it.
Hold on, I'll give him my car. It's fine. I think it will work. Boy, oh boy. Have my life figured out probably sometime this week. Hold on. Actually, no, I'll just throw this here. Really hope anyway. What's up, Johnny?